Wolverine, aka Logan, is out and about fighting the vampires in New York, traveling through cross dimensions to find a young mutant, and is very much deep into this story of Marvel Rivals. This is his second story lore, called Rising Pulse, and we're going to be covering it in this video. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. This is the story of Wolverine, and this is the story of Marvel Rivals. So like I said, we're going to be getting into the second one here, Rising Pulse, which will be into the theme of the Hellfire Gala. The mutant known as Wolverine let out a primal scream as his razor-sharp adamantium claws sliced through yet another of Ultron's robotic drone soldiers. "Easy, Logan," Magic said to her fellow X-Man. "If we're going to win this battle and save Krakoa, we need your head in the game, not just your claws." "Thanks for the reminder, Snowflake," Logan said as he took a deep breath. Pulling himself back from the edge of the berserker rage, the cloud of red obscuring Logan's vision began to fade. He was once again able to survey the battle taking place around him with a clear mind, and despite the devastation sweeping across the nation he called home, he liked some of what he saw. Magic had already returned to the battle, using her giant soul sword to cut multiple androids in half with a single stroke. Around her, a horde of demons, Magic's loyal subjects from Limbo, the netherworld in which she reigned, stood at the entrance of a Krakoan great gateway, eviscerating any mechanical invader that dared to pass through to the living island. Logan had been fond of Magic ever since he was just a little girl, but just seeing the strong and fearless warrior that this version of her had grown into filled him with a sense of pride that he rarely felt. Nearby, another mutant warrior was skillfully fending off Ultron's forces with her psychic blade, but this one was only vaguely familiar to Logan. True, he and Psylocke had fought side by side for many years as members of the X-Men, but this woman, who simply referred to herself as Psy, was a version of Psylocke from another timeline who had only recently arrived on Krakoa. And unlike the alternate Magic, this Psylocke was vastly different from the one Logan knew. Even so, she defended her new home as if it had always been her own, which is all that Logan could ask for, and her pet wolf, who happened to share both Logan's name and his ferocity, wasn't so bad to have around either. Logan heard a noise coming from the shoreline and turned to see a small army of sea creatures emerging from the churning waves. The aquatic beasts blasted the bots with bolts of seawater. A massive monster even shot an enormous laser, obliterating the entire squadron of Ultron's drones. Namor, the king of the seas, stepped up next to Logan and smiled proudly. "You mutants are lucky to have me on your side," Namor said. "Ultron's toys are no match for the monsters of the deep." "I'm sure hope you're right, fish breath," Logan said, as yet another battalion of robotic drones blasted its way through an unguarded Krakoan gate, because we've got more invited guests. As Logan ran directly into the new wave of android assailants, he held his arms out to his sides so that he fully extended his claws and they could slash their way through every hunk of scrap, unfortunate enough to pass him by. The drones fell to the ground in pieces around him. "About time I started getting the security I paid for," a voice said inside of Logan's head. It belonged to the mutant telepath Emma Frost. Emma had been the one who had planned tonight's extravagant Hellfire Gala on the island of Krakoa. She had invited countless superheroes and powerful world leaders to dine, dance, and determine the future of relations between man and mutant kind. But things went terribly wrong when the genocidal robot called Ultron returned to Earth and crashed the party. What started as an evening of fun and festivities had since devolved into chaos and all-out war. "If you wanted to bounce at Em, you should have just hired Blob." Logan snapped back in his mind. "I can't control who comes through the gates. I can just cut them into pieces once they do. I simply imagine that you and the little X-Force you had assembled," Emma continued. "This ain't no X-Force, lady," Logan barked, stopping Emma mid-thought. "Magic, Psy, Namor, they're all tough as nails, sure, but despite the matching costumes, we ain't never fought as a team before, and it shows." "Indeed it does," Emma said as her thoughts began to trail away. Logan knew that she meant no harm, but even so, he was glad to finally have her out of his mind. He had more important things to focus on. Wolverine raced over to where Magic and Namor were standing. Both Magic's demons and Namor's sea creatures were doing their best to block off any new reinforcements coming through the Krakoan gates. but for every portal they managed to secure, another seemed to open, as if Ultron had somehow gained full access to Krakoa's network of interspatial gateways. "We've got to shut these blasted doors down," Logan said. "We can't let any more of these things in." "The only problem with that plan," Magic replied, "is that no one else will be able to get out either, including all the innocent people who were attending the Hellfire Gala. I know of very few air breathers who I would consider innocent people," Namor said with indifference. "Besides, I thought you mutants put the safety and sanctity of Krakoa before all else." "Not before helping others," Logan replied. "Even if the folks who try to save are the very same kind of humans who would send an army of Sentinels to wipe out our entire nation if they had the..." Logan paused for a second, realizing what he just said might hold the key for that dilemma. "Sentinels," he muttered under his breath. "That's it." For years, humanity had attempted to exterminate Logan's people by building massive mutant hunting robots known as Sentinels. At first, they were easy to defeat with just a few slashes from Logan's claws, but with every new generation, the Sentinels' defenses had been improved upon. Still, there was one thing that always succeeded in taking down these mechanical menaces: an electromagnetic pulse. "Anyone see Magneto?" Logan asked. "Last I heard, Ultron took him out," Magic said. "I would check the Arbor Magna. She should almost be resurrected by now." "Ain't got no time to wait," Logan scowled, rushing off towards the jungle at the heart of Krakoa. "Gonna have to go to my backup plan." "Where do you think you're going?" Namor demanded. "To end this fight once and for all, bub." Logan yelled back, never breaking his stride. "Hold the fort until I get back, eh?" Logan raced as fast as he could to the entrance of a secluded cave. Stepping inside, he found himself in the armory, the secret workshop of X-Men's resident inventor Forge. Unfortunately, Forge wasn't currently home, but Logan could smell that he wasn't alone. "You don't belong here," Logan growled at the intruder. "Funny," Rocket replied, stepping out from the shadows clad in a massive hat and flowery shirt. "I thought you mutants were supposed to be all about coexistence." "I am Groot," his tree-like companion added, as the shiny little werewolf called Amazing Baby nibbled on his stray branches. Logan snatched a strange high-tech device out of Rocket's paws. "This ain't your tech, runt," Logan said. "You got no idea what you're dealing with here." "Truth," Rocket mused. "This stuff is all pretty advanced by the Terran standard, but to me, it's as outdated as Cool's stupid music player. My work is light years ahead of this." "Then maybe you can help me," Logan said, suddenly realizing that having a self-proclaimed tech genius like Rocket on his side might be exactly the advantage he needed. "If we want to take down Ultron once and for all, we need something powerful like..." "An electromagnetic pulse grenade?" Rocket asked with a smirk. "Yeah," Logan said, "one of those." "Well, what do you think you're holding, pal?" Rocket said, pointing a tiny finger at the device that Logan had snatched from earlier. "I am Groot," Groot added. "You tell him, big guy," Rocket laughed. "So, if we set this thing off, Ultron's done for?" Logan asked as he examined the device. "In theory," Rocket replied, "but there's a catch. The other tech across the island goes down too. That means fancy suits of armor, bionic limbs, and any top-secret gizmos you might be hiding in caves like this one." "Cerebro," Logan whispered, realizing that the pulse would also potentially take out the one piece of technology that mutant kind valued the most. Cerebro is used to store the genetic data and memory profiles of every mutant on Krakoa, making it the key to their resurrection protocols. If the EMP destroyed Cerebro, it would take the future of Logan's people with it. "Did you say Cerebro?" Rocket asked, raising a bushy eyebrow. "Me and Groot held Ultron jabbering on about that thing. Whatever it is, he said he was going to claim it for himself." "Over my dead body," Logan snarled. He took the EMP grenade and rushed towards the exit of the armory. "Hey, get back here with my flarkin' pulse bomb," Rocket yelled. "I am Groot," Groot said with disappointment as Logan disappeared back into the Krakoan jungle. "I know, right?" Rocket responded with frustration. "I did all the work, and that walking can opener is going to get the credit. Story of my life." Logan wasn't concerned about who got recognition for ending this fight. All he wanted was it to be over before Ultron could do any more damage. And now that Ultron had his sights set on Cerebro, Logan knew he had no other choice. He couldn't allow the sensitive data stored on Cerebro to fall into Ultron's hands. He'd rather destroy the device than let Ultron pose a greater threat to Krakoa and all of mutant kind. Using his heightened senses, Logan hunted the original Ultron through the Krakoan jungle. There was something different about his smell that set him apart from all of his robotic duplicates that had flooded the island. It was almost as if this Ultron was made from a different metal, but it was one Logan's nose couldn't quite place. Hacking his way through the dense undergrowth, Logan finally emerged just outside of the Pointy. Ultron was already there, attempting to blast his way into the cradle, the location of the primary Cerebro unit. Logan had arrived without a moment to spare. "You will not stop me from completing my new directive," Ultron said, as he turned and fired a laser beam at Logan. "Cerebro will be mine." "Take it," Logan said. "It ain't gonna do you much good when you're both flying in a scrap heap. Dodging a barrage of lasers, Logan tossed the EMP grenade at Ultron. A split second later, an enormous burst of electromagnetic energy released from the tiny bomb. Logan's body was sent hurling backwards by the blast. It felt as if his bones were about to be torn out of his body, but he could handle the pain if it meant that Ultron was going to be shot off for good. For a moment, a hush fell over Krakoa, but then an unexpected voice broke the silence. "A valiant attempt," Ultron said, hovering over, looking down at the disorientated Logan, "but my body was forged of mysterium alloy. Electrical conductivity simply charges me, and it seems your dear Cerebro is still online as well, thanks to the finds of Krakoa that kept it grounded." No, Wolverine groaned. "It seemed that all you managed to do was wipe out a few of my soldiers," Ultron continued, "and nearly all of the weapons belonging to your fellow heroes. I really should thank you for the assist." Ultron released a massive burst of energy at Logan, burning most of his flesh off his adamantium skeleton in an instant. Logan roared in pain as he was roasted alive, but I have worlds to conquer. Logan laid helpless on the Krakoan soil, only to be able to watch from a distance as Ultron entered the cradle to claim Cerebro. As his healing factor finally started to kick in, Wolverine vowed that he would finish the job he had started in the only way guaranteed to take out Ultron, out of service permanently, with his bare claws. And we see this in one of the ending screens of the map on Krakoa. We see Wolverine slashing Ultron from his neck and ripping his head off, but his head then still attaches to Cerebro, which then makes him reborn in one of the pods. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good story to get this side of it. We've been going in a good order, and I've really enjoyed it. We didn't really gain or learn too much from this. All we know is that from the last one, when Squirrel Girl and Rocket went to the beach, they're back and fighting. Rocket created that electromagnetic pulse grenade to help out. In this one, obviously, they knew that Magneto died, but he was being reborn. So yeah, I mean, it's all going good with the story. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I've been Nancy, you guys have been awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.